September the 19th, 1970. Down on the farm, about a mile south of Zurich, past the Lutheran Cemetery on the left-hand side. John Decher Jr. and my mother's maiden name was Clara Rader. Luella and Irene, and I had a brother that died before I was born, then myself and Vera. I can remember we had a wood stove in the kitchen, and that was a stovepipe went through the kitchen, through my mother and dad's bedroom and up through our bedroom, so we didn't have much heat. And the stovepipes, I can remember, sometimes they were red hot. So they put salt on the wood so to calm it down a bit. Well, I had long hair, but my mother always rolled it up in rags every night to make it curly, but got it cut. The neighbor across the road cut it, and I can remember coming home and sitting on the steps that faced to the south of the house. And my dad passed me, went in the house, and he'd come back, but it was said in German, but it meant in English. He said he didn't recognize me. He thought I looked less like a rooster without a tail. Mostly German. Oh yeah, but the church, we sang German. We had church services on a Sunday. German in the morning and English at night. And I sang in the choir German, and I sang in the choir English. Oh, that's all we ever spoke at home. I never spoke English till I went to school. Not at all. I could read German. Now I can't. But I was only 11 when my dad died. In 29 he died. Well, it was pretty hard because he had a lot of racehorses and he had to have a sale, and that was quite a rough thing. So we moved to town that same year in the fall. That was March, the sale then after. Sale, I think about September. We moved to town about October, and well, Vera and I, we started working where we could get a job. Helped my mother along because she was left until she was only 44 at the time. So, but at that time, it made me think I was writing in that book because I thought people don't understand. As we got older, my mother would go out to hoe beans, so now they don't do that. They spray everything. And we'd go along, and that was a long day. But my mother would just say, oh, well, a little bit more, and we'll be at the end, we'll get a drink. And then we'd go to pick stones up off the fields. Yeah. And bean picking, we used to do a lot of bean picking too. But I can remember the stone picking. One lad, he thought he was so, not stone picking, bean picking, he thought he was so smart. He went and put stones in. He got paid by the pound. He put stones in the bottom of his bag, then he put beans on the top. But the fellow caught on to it. He thought it was weighing too heavy. Found out he had put stones in the bag. So that was the end of his bean picking. He didn't come back anymore. Then I worked at the hotel. Like at that time, there was no rest homes or nothing. And there was a lot of boarders at the hotel. And the hotel had a lot of rooms. So there's a lot of people that stayed there. And they also, at the bank, there was two men. One man always stayed at the bank all night. But they both ate at the hotel. And one boarded at the hotel, roomed at the hotel. And so there was a lot of wait on table in the morning, a lot of them. And the teacher, one of the teachers came from Manitoulin, and his father, so he always had to be to school in the morning, and his dad was there. They were from Manitoulin. But it was like an old people's home, maybe, because the lady, Mrs. Johnson, she was a good cook, and she did cooking, and I enjoyed it there. About 2.5 years I worked there. Well, I was good friends with his sister. Well, at that time, we girls always, there was youth at the church, and we were all friends. Like Robert Westlake's mother and I, we were always together. And with Helen, her old sister, Helen, she was one of them too. Well, we all went to the same church, and just it happened. So I think the way everybody met that. Because it seemed all of them were the friends, they all had somebody that went to the same church and met at youth meetings and like that. and that's the way it happened. I was going to be 19, and Earl, we got married on Earl's 23rd birthday. That day, you know, Carl, I bought a new winter coat, and it rained. It was like summertime. 2 weeks later, his sister was married, and it was snow up to your knees. Well, at that time, we had 3 grocery stores in town, 7 gas stations, and 2 hardware stores. Pharmacy. Oh, and I've worked for Dr. McKinnon too, in the pharmacy. The farmers all came to town, and that when we had, after I was married with the transport, well, we drew all this livestock to London, the check would come back to us, and I had to figure it out and go to the bank, get the check cashed, have envelopes to put the farmers' money in. Then each one got the right amount, so I had it all figured out before I went to the bank, what I had to have and change I had to have. And because then Saturday nights the farmers, because they were busy all day, and then they'd come Saturday night to town looking for their money.
What? Is this sea shanties? Sea shanties.
What are you?
I think it's a sea shangy.
What's a sea shangy? What are you talking about?
The rails were froze, the wheels were cold, and then the air brake wouldn't hold, and number 9 came roaring down the hill. Oh, the runaway train come down the track and she flew. The runaway train came down the track and she flew. The runaway train come down the track, the whistle wide and the throttle back, and she blew, 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 blew. Oh, the engineer said the train was off and she flew.
Can you see it, Isabel?
The train was off and she flew.
I think there's a story here somewhere.
The engineer said the train was off. He said it was all the fireman's fault, and he blew, blew, blew.